Rodeo Ron and His Milkshake Cows by Rowan Clifford. Can't wait to see what happens in this one. There's our title page, Rodeo Ron and His Milkshake Cows. And here we go. Rodeo Ron moseyed into the little town of Cavity, riding atop a bright red cow. Following behind, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, came 3 more cows. The first, she was as yellow as a field of sun-ripened corn. The second was as blue as a cloudless sky, and the third was as green as a fresh spring meadow. The town's children came running right up. With every step, they let rip the biggest, fattest, wettest burps Ron had ever heard. There they are up here. Burp, 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 burp. All of them are burping. Hey, mister, they belched. How come your cows are such funny colors? Well, said Ron, red's red because she eats nothing but strawberries. Blue's blue because she eats nothing but blueberries. And yellow, there, she eats nothing but bananas. What about the green one, mister? Well, I'll give you a clue, said Ron. Do you like milk? Cow juice? Yuck! Squealed the kids. No, sir, this town only drinks frothy and fruities sodas. You've got to try one. Inside the soda bar, everybody from little old ladies to teeny little babies was burping nonstop. And everybody had dirty brown stumps instead of bright white smiles. 2 brothers, Frothy and Fruity, stood behind the bar, identical except that one's mustache pointed up and the other's pointed down. What's your poison, mister? They growled. Orange, shouted the kids. Orange it is, said Rodeo Ron. Into a shaker, Frothy poured orange syrup, a shovel of sugar, and another of bicarbonate of soda, extra fizzy. On went the lid, and Frothy began to shake and belch so loudly that Ron had to hold on to his hat. Frothy slid the soda down the bar. Rodeo Ron took a big, long gulp. Before he could stop himself, he let out the biggest burp of his life. Burp! Hot diggity dang, he cried. No wonder there's not a white tooth in town. It's so sweet. Hey, nobody criticizes our sodas, mister, belched Fruity. Yeah, unless you can do better, belched Frothy. I reckon I can, said Ron. Then I reckon you've got yourself a shake-off, mister. As soon as they heard the word shake-off, the townsfolk charged outside. The sheriff pushed his way to the front and called out the rules. There are 4 flavors. You shake and the kids judge. A ripple of excited burps rose from the crowd. Frothy and Fruity got out their chemicals and carbonates, their sodas and syrups. Rodeo Ron pulled on his grippiest rodeo glove. Strawberry, hollered the sheriff. Frothy and Fruity sprang into action. They poured their syrups and sugars. They shook, they rattled, they burped with excitement. Meanwhile, Rodeo Ron leaped astride Red and just sat there. Boring, said the kids. But then, with a huge leap, Red shot into the air. She bucked and she bronked, she shivered and she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, strawberriest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out 1-0 to Rodeo Ron. Frothy and Fruity fizzled with rage. So she shook, 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 and she made a strawberry milkshake. Banana, hollered the sheriff. The brothers shook harder than they'd ever shaken before, and the harder they shook, the louder they burped. Meanwhile, Rodeo Ron jumped astride Yellow and just sat there. Boring, said the kids. Suddenly, with a huge leap, Yellow shot into the air. She bucked and she bronked. She shivered and she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, banana-ariest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out 2-0 to Rodeo Ron. The brothers shook with rage. Just as soon as the sheriff hollered blueberry, the brothers were off, shaking like they'd never shaken before, burping like they never burped before. All the while, Ron sat quietly astride Blue. Boring, said the kids. Suddenly, with a huge leap, Blue shot into the air. She bucked and she bronked, she shivered and she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, blueberriest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out 3-0 to Rodeo Ron. What? Screamed the brothers. Ain't nobody makes a drink as frothy and fruity as ours. And before the sheriff could even call out the last flavor, Fruity jumped onto Frothy's back like he was one of Rodeo Ron's cows, and they bucked and they bronked, they shivered and they shook, and they went burp, 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 louder and louder and louder, and bang! All that was left of Frothy and Fruity was their mustaches, one pointing up and the other pointing down. Holy coyote, cried Rodeo Ron. I guess that was just one burp too many. No sooner had the dust settled than one of the kids piped up. What about the green cow, mister? What flavor is she? Mint? Lime? Kiwi? To the town folks' surprise, Rodeo Ron didn't jump onto her back. No, he just set to, and into a glass he milked the frothiest, creamiest white milk you ever did see. Sip by sip, the whole of Cavity tasted it. Why, that's the finest drink ever, they said. And it was, too. As the days went by, a change came over Cavity. Little by little, tooth by tooth, the townfolk got back their bright white smiles. What's more, nobody ever burped again. Well, maybe once or twice, but they always said pardon. And they took down the soda bar sign and changed it to a milk bar. And the dedication for this one's at the end. It says, for Allie, Ellie, and Augie. That was Rodeo Ron and his milkshake